I want to talk to you about the Church of Scientology. I worked in the church for 27 years, 15 of them in the C organization, which is the highest level of the church. I have literally decades of experience with how Scientology operates, both publicly and behind closed doors. If you're involved with Scientology right now, or if you're thinking about getting involved with it, you really need to hear this. Now let me be blunt and get right to the point. Scientology is dying. The bad news with these guys has been going on for years, and there's no indication right now that it's going to stop. In fact, I believe this disintegration is picking up speed. What I want to tell you about is why this is happening, and why no matter what happens from this point forward, it's pretty inevitable where it's going to end up. Let's start from the top. David Miscavige is the leader of the church. He likes to tell his followers that things have never been better and that every year they're seeing church expansion at higher and higher levels. But if you actually look at the statistics and see what's in the media and how many people are coming forward and telling their stories, things have never been worse. Miscavige is actually lying to his parishioners almost every single time he talks to them. Let's look at the membership figures. Since the 1970s, Scientology has claimed a membership of millions. But look a little closer. Just who are these millions? Well, the truth is that there never have been millions of Scientologists. Ever. These numbers were literally made up out of thin air by church officials for the sake of good press. Let's look at some independent, impartial assessments of the church's membership. In 2001, a survey was conducted by the City University of New York, and they found only 55,000 Scientologists in all of the United States. More recently, the American Religious Identification Survey was done in 2008, and it found the number had dropped to 25,000. Even J. Gordon Melton, a religious scholar who has written favorable pieces for Scientology, has said that the church significantly exaggerates its membership numbers. When Scientology gives the media its membership data, no one really does any fact-checking. They just repeat the church's lies. So this fantasy about 8, 10, or even 12 million members continues to be reported, even though these inflated numbers are actually easy to disprove. All right, here's some insider information for you. If there is one thing in Scientology that church executives go absolutely gaga over, it's statistics. These days, they actually know how many Scientologists there are. The way they know this is because they keep files and weekly reports from every single one of their churches of how many parishioners attend classes or receive counseling every single week. They also keep track of how many attendees they have at all the different events they have each year. The dirty secret is that these figures have been spiraling down for years and are now as low as 35,000 to 40,000 worldwide, including the church's own staff members. That means that public membership could now be as low as 25,000 people. Some estimates right now being done are coming up with even lower figures. The list they keep of active members is one of their most closely guarded secrets, accessible to only a handful of Sea Org members at the highest levels of the church. So getting truly accurate figures, even if you're inside the organization, is pretty much impossible. The only reason I can talk about this is because when I worked in the church, I happened to have that list of active members in my hands one day. I also happened to see those graphs of how many people were attending church events every year. Now, I wasn't supposed to see either one of those things, but I did, and I can tell you that the list of members didn't even have 100,000 members on it, much less 10 million. L. Ron Hubbard founded the Church of Scientology in 1954. Over the years, he wrote literally volumes of policies governing the purposes and activities of every single part of the organization, from its highest management levels down to how the janitors are supposed to wash windows. Nothing was too trivial for his personal attention. In the world of Scientology, Hubbard's directions are law. Whenever things have gone wrong in the execution of his policies, blame is always shifted to those who either carried out the orders or to those it's intended to victimize. It is never the fault of Hubbard's policies. Church doctrine on this is clear. Hubbard is the single source of all the policies, and the policies are infallible. In this series of videos, I'm going to break down what is actually behind Scientology's destruction. And I want to make it clear from the beginning that it has nothing to do with Scientology's belief system. The dogma of Scientology, what they call the technology, is not the problem. Like any other religion, Scientology has its own unique set of ideas as to the origins of the universe, what man's relationship is with God, and it has codes and rules for happy living. I don't subscribe to Scientology's beliefs anymore, and I'm not a Scientology apologist. But if I'm going to talk truth here, it's no stretch of the imagination to say that their beliefs are not really so different or any stranger than those of, say, Catholics or Hindus. No religious beliefs stand up too well under the cold light of logic and reason. That's why they call it faith. And nothing I'm going to talk about has anything to do with Scientology's faith or beliefs. I'm not here to call Scientologists crazy. People can believe whatever they want. It's what they do with those beliefs that count in the real world. Critics, ex-Scientologists, and media pundits talk about Scientology and highlight its weaknesses and abuses. But contrary to what Scientology tells its parishioners, these critics are not the source of the problem. They're just reporting on it. It is the Church of Scientology itself which is its own worst enemy. It is the Church's operating policies and how those policies are carried out that is bringing about its destruction. No amount of shiny commercials, brilliant marketing, or new PR firms are going to be able to cover up the rotten core of Scientology. It is what it is. Its obsession with money, the harsh way it deals with members who have doubts, its toxic disconnection policies which rip apart families, these are not issues of faith. They are issues of control and domination. Because Hubbard's word is law, and because the policies I'm going to talk about cannot be changed without changing the fundamental nature of Scientology itself, it's actually in Scientology's very DNA to destroy itself. I'm not saying that Scientology is going to be gone tomorrow. The church is well-funded and organized enough that it probably still has many years left in it. My point is that no matter what happens from this point forward, unless the church were to completely reform and change its very nature, its demise is simply inevitable. In part 2, I'll begin breaking down these toxic policies in detail and show how each one is helping to destroy Scientology from within. Thank you for watching.